In this video I'm showing how to replace the rear tire tube on a 2022 Honda CRF250F. Something was feeling off the last time I was out on the trails, and when I looked down the rear tire was flat. No clue how it happened, but I've got some suspicions.
That would be my big fat ass.
Replacing the tire tube wasn't really complicated, but it was a lot of work, so I'm going to jump into it and show how I did that now. To start, you'll have to put the bike up on a stand. The owner's manual suggests strapping the front of the motorcycle down some type of way to hold it in place, but I don't have a way to do that, so I'm just winging it here. Before you take anything apart, make note of where your chain adjusters are. Mine were set to 20 on both sides. I used a torque wrench on one side to break the axle nut loose while holding the other side with a different wrench. Once I had it loose enough, I removed the axle nut and the chain adjuster from the right side of the bike. I positioned the chain adjuster on the left side of the bike so that I could push the wheel all the way forward and get the chain off of the sprocket. Then I was able to slide the axle out and set it aside. That's all that holds the wheel onto the bike, so after you do this, it'll come down. Also, the owner's manual warns against pressing the brake pedal while the wheel is off of the motorcycle because it will force the caliper piston out of the cylinder, so don't do that. I'd planned on using my truck tailgate as a workbench for this, but it's a summer afternoon in Florida, which can only mean one thing, so I threw together an improvised table in my garage, and if at all possible, I'd recommend finding a way to do this standing up because it's just too backbreaking to do on the ground. So the first must-have for this are a set of tire spoons. I got these from Rocky Mountain for about 25 bucks. Without these, it would pretty much be impossible. It's not like a mountain bike tire where you can change it with a screwdriver or something. I started by loosening the rim lock. The rim lock sits on the inside, and it holds the tire to the rim so that during periods of really high torque, the tire doesn't spin freely on the rim and tear off the valve stem or something. I also removed the cap and this little rubber grommet from the valve stem. I sprayed the tire with soapy water, which brings up a point I feel like I should make here. Clean the dang bike before you do this. I didn't, and it becomes a big muddy sandy mess. It just adds extra frustration, and trust me, there's already enough where we're going. Alright, so to get started here, I sunk the tire spoons in about 4 or 5 inches apart. I decided to insert the spoons kind of in the middle between the valve stem and the rim lock. A lot of the advice I saw online recommended starting with the disc brake side as opposed to the sprocket side. I'm glad I followed this advice because it is much easier on your knuckles. To begin, I pried the first spoon and tucked it under the disc brake to hold it in place. It helps to press the opposing side of the tire off of the bead and down into the drop center of the rim so that you have more tire to work with on the side that you're prying with the spoons. I pried the second spoon over, and same thing, tucked it up under the disc brake to hold it there. And then finally pried the third spoon over. In my experience, this part was pretty hard. I'm editing out all of the times that I failed at this. The one thing I can add is if the tire doesn't stay up over the rim like this after you've pried the first 3 spoons, then just reposition them and go at it again. After I had that started though, it got easier. I just took the spoons and kept going around the rim, grabbing the tire, and then prying it out. After I had everything done on the disc brake side, I flipped it over and got started on the sprocket side. On this side, it's the exact same thing. I slid the spoons into place and then pried the tire up and over, using the sprocket to hold them there. And again, if it's really fighting you, make sure that you're pressing the tire down into the drop center. Again, this part was difficult and took more force than I thought it would, but once I had it going, it was easy to go around with the spoons and pry the tire up and over the rim. At this point, you should sort of be able to peel the tire off of the rim. Again, this part takes a little bit of grit, and you sort of just have to outstubborn the tire. I went around the inside of the tire and confirmed I didn't have any thorns or nails or something waiting to puncture the replacement tube. As for the replacement, I got this Bridgestone heavy-duty motorcycle tube off of Rocky Mountain for about 35 bucks. I'll leave a link down below in the description for the one that I used. I aired the tube up a little bit so that it would hold its shape and hopefully not get pinched by the spoons while I was mounting the tire back on the rim. Then I stuffed the tube into the tire. The replacement tube came with 2 nuts on the valve stem. The old tube only had 1, so I removed one of these. I positioned the rim so that the hole lines up with where the valve stem goes. I pulled some of the tube out of the tire, slid the valve stem through the hole, then I screwed the spare nut onto the valve stem so that it would stay there while I worked. At this point, I feel like I should apologize for not getting the best camera angles. I used the long metal spoon and began going around and prying the tire up and over the rim. And again, this was just kind of difficult. I don't have a lot of tips here other than just keep at it. I found that I did have incremental success prying with the spoon and then pushing it to the side to pull the tire up and over the rim. I had to just keep taking small bites at it and repeating this method. Toward the end, it started to get really tight and it was difficult to get the spoons in, so I used soapy water again. I also found sometimes I could slide the spoon in the wrong way, turn it over, and then it would be able to grab the tire so I could pull it up over the rim. That ended up being how I got the last stubborn bit of it done. Then I used 2 spoons to pry the tire while I pushed in on the rim lock. Then I let go of the tire on the other side of the rim lock so that it could grab it whenever I tighten everything back down later. Alright, so all done on the disc brake side, over to the sprocket side now. Again with the soapy water before getting started. I found I had to position the spoons a little bit farther apart from each other to get this side going. And then same thing, I'm just going around and prying on the spoons to pull the tire up and over the rim. This part is also hard and the fatigue's kind of setting in. It was at this point that I wish I bought this little tire bead tool. For only $8 it would have saved a lot of frustration, done a better job of holding the tire on the rim, and also freed up one of the spoons that I desperately needed. So if I have to do this again, I'll be buying one of these. I did get to a certain point where I just wasn't making progress. I don't know what it was, but it seemed like as I started getting closer to the rim lock, it just started getting more difficult. I was kind of running out of ideas, so I pried some of the tire off of the rim on the other side of the rim lock, and that seemed to get it going again. I found that I just had to keep taking really little bites with the spoons and prying it up and over, and also periodically pressing the tire into the drop center. I pried and I pried until I got so close that finally it popped over. I had to tighten the nut so that it would pull some more of the valve stem out so that I could air the tire up. The owner's manual says 15 pounds, so that's what I put in it. I removed this nut since there wasn't one on there before, and I put the rubber grommet back in place and put the cap back on. I tightened the rim lock back down. I didn't see a torque specification for this, so I guess just go with your gut. Alright, now back to the bike. The caliper has this piece that slots into the swing arm right here. It allows it to travel forward or backward depending on where the wheel is mounted with the chain adjusters. The wheel has these little collars on both sides. They fall out pretty easily, so just make sure they're in place before you put the tire back on. I carefully lifted the wheel up into place. It takes a lot of finesse here, otherwise you'll knock one of the collars out and then you gotta start over. On the caliper side, you just have to get the disc up between the brake pads. Then you can slide the axle back into place. I didn't have a mallet in grabbing distance, so used a block of wood. With the axle back into place, I slid the tire forward so that I could get the chain around the sprocket. Then I put the chain adjuster and the axle nut on the other side. I set the chain adjusters on both sides to 20, which is what they were set to before. Now is a good opportunity to tighten your chain if it needs it. This video is long enough already, so I'll make a separate one covering that. I set my torque wrench to 80 pound-feet per the owner's manual. Then I put a wrench on the other side and used my torque wrench to tighten the axle nut to 80 pounds. The owner's manual suggests pressing the brake a few times and making sure that the wheel spins freely. Alright, that's all there is to it, my friends. I hope this video was helpful. If you also have a flat rear tire tube on your 2022 Honda CRF250F, hit like if this was helpful. See you on the trails.